And we're back for the very last stream of the day, whatever day means at this point, for ID24 2025. And I'm glad to say we did it again, one way or another. We had 30 speakers altogether who kindly shared 24 amazing talks with us. In total, I've number crunched a little bit behind the scenes. We've had approximately 2,000 views for all this year's various videos, various streams, with audiences tuning in from all around the world as ever. That might not seem like much, but traditionally, even though we only get about 100 views per talk while it's streaming live, we get usually a very nice long tail of people who then watch it after the event when it's not middle of the night for them or whichever time zone they fall in. So as an example, the videos from last year have now garnered a collective view count of almost 15,000. And I had a peek at the ones from 2023, and they're at around 20,000. So, the views do accumulate. Of course, we don't do this for the clicks, for number go up, because otherwise we should have really started monetizing these a while ago. We do it because we believe that it's important for our community of practice to share knowledge and experience and to start conversations that will hopefully make the world that tiny bit more inclusive and accessible. Because frankly, looking around the state of the world at the moment, we can all do with some kind of positivity and some kind of future outlook. Now, none of this would have been possible without the help and generosity of a lot of people. So first of all, I'd like to thank our supporters: Accessibility Cloud, Intopia, Intuit, the Law Office of Laney Feingold, Mantis & Co, and Vispero. And next up, all our fantastic guest hosts who've made sure that all our Q&A sessions ran smoothly. In order of appearance, we had Kerry Fisher, Ariel Fox, Ross Mullen, Makoto Ueki, Joe Lamiman, David Swallow, Stephanie Walter, Wendy Reed, Rob Whittaker, Lauren Race, Bruce Lawson, Dave Latore, Hayden Pickering, Terence Eden, Crystal Preston Watson, Jared Smith, and then on the substitute bench, ready to pounce into action in case they were needed, we also had Ricky Onsman and Jim O'Donnell waiting in the wings. Of course, a big thank you to all our wonderful speakers, and don't worry, I will not try and list them all now, without whom there would literally be no conference to begin with. Their knowledge and expertise and their willingness to share it with the community is really what ID24 is all about. Lastly, a small pat on the back also goes to the ID24 crew itself. Every year we say this has to be the last one, but then just like in Godfather 3, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. It always starts quite harmlessly, and then the next thing we know, we're running around like headless chickens trying to get this show on the road. But somehow, in the end, it always seems to come together. And lastly, of course, a big thank you to the audience out there, if you're still watching. Thank you for all your comments, social media messages, and for tuning into the various sessions. Now, this was the 12th year of ID24, but just confusingly, this is our 13th edition, since we did 2 editions in 2017. It was so good, we had to do it twice. With the exception of 2015, where we had a virtual fire at the warehouse where we stored the original reels of film for the event. The videos for all other years are archived and freely available on our YouTube channel. So if you ever get bored, we've got you covered. And now I will stop reading my prepared teleprompter. The escalator did work when I came back down from upstairs, so at least that's a good thing. Once again, like we finished like we started. I'll popcorn around the room and just say, how was it for you? And I'll start with Stuart.
I'll start with the one who's probably been more the vanisher this time around than everybody else. So thanks, Patrick. I'll be honest, yeah, I saw one, and that's probably only because I was giving it, and I saw fragments of others throughout the 24 hours. Definitely, there's a couple that I'm always have to admit I'm a little bit parochial and biased with the amazing people we have in Australia who give their presentations and share. And for me, this is always an amazing opportunity for the global community to see the amazing knowledge and expertise we've got out of Australia. So Steve, who kicked off this year, was fantastic. Don Parker has always provided great presentations, and she's definitely an up and comer in the community here in Australia, which is great to see. And even Bovas gave a great presentation as well. So no, I'm a big fan of all that. But also, I was lucky enough to catch a little bit of Kay's before my presentation, and I love Kay's because it was covering a lot of the sort of more the soft topics around digital accessibility, and that's the area I tend to play in a lot myself. I'm not the technical person when it comes to WCAG and stuff like that. So no, I love listening to Kay and a lot of her personal experience as well that she was sharing, which was fantastic. So yeah, there's plenty more I got to catch up on, no question. But I'm sure others here have seen a lot more than I was able to get to this year.
So hand it off to somebody. No, okay. I'll popcorn on your behalf. I'll say Eric.
Hey, yeah. I I mean every year I enjoy it. I had a ton of fun this year. I think one of the things I was kind of thinking about while I was quickly shoving dinner into my face was one of the themes I kind of noticed was like threaded throughout was like localization and translation and like English as the implicit default, but how that's changing and like how that intersects with how people learn about the standards, how people learn about the technology, how that like all plays together. Specifically, and all those work to localize the standards for Brazil, spoke out to me. And I don't know, it's just one of those talks that like lives in your head rent free. Yeah, so I don't know, it's a lot to think about. And I'm looking forward to catching the long tail of, so to speak, of all the talks I what didn't get to attend because I was either sleeping or trying to sleep. um, Popcorn Kathleen.
Okay. Yeah, there were a lot of great talks. Of course, Steve was great. I'm so excited to dive into Jan Martin's Boston accent, y'all. Jan Martin and Danielle Henderson Eads annotation kit. I'm ready for that. The two themes, well, the two themes that really stuck out with me was a lot of focus on cognitive accessibility. So that's something near and dear to my heart. And the other one that was just riveting was Lola's presentation on interoperability. I just couldn't get enough of learning about all the different APIs. I'm going to popcorn over to Lainey.
Thanks, Kathleen. Yeah, I totally agree about Lola's talk. Just just so much information and yeah, such a knowledgeable and informed person to have talk about it. Uh, Stuart, yeah, I agree with you actually as well. Don Parker's talk is probably one of the ones where I think I learned the most about an area I know least about generally. Gaming and game design for young people with cerebral palsy, small children. Thought that was fascinating. One I missed because I was on my off shift, but I've definitely got it highlighted to prioritize is John Payton and Johnny Marshall's talk about synthetic speech and its use in audio description. I'm really looking forward to kind of backtracking onto that one. And I caught a few fragments from the penultimate talk, was it Jonathan's on the data visualization for screen reader users and blind people as well, which I thought was, yeah, some really great insights into that too. So plenty more to catch up on as well. So that's always good. Ian, over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, so plenty that I saw that were really good. I think probably the one that spoke to me most was the Piper Hudson's designing Euro accessible interfaces for better user engagement, which was not just about designing interfaces, but it also had quite a bit to do with like how to recognize neurodiversity and how to cope with it. I think so. That was particularly good. And yeah, I think from a more technical point of view, the more sort of codey sort of angle was the accessible data visualization for screen reader users, as you mentioned, from Jonathan Zong. I think they were my two highlights. I'll hand over to Hans.
Thought all the talks were great this year, and I really enjoyed being backstage with everybody, all the presenters coming in and the guest hosts, and everything going really well. We didn't really have any significant mistakes, things really going wrong. I also really like the accessibility annotations talk. And another one that I was really interested in was the React Native talk by Matthew. And unfortunately, Alina couldn't be there. I think it's just something that a lot of people are dealing with in their day-to-day work, and it's just good to kind of see, get an honest view of what still needs to happen in that space. The other one I would like to mention is the talk by Nick Chan about Audium, the accessible maps, inclusive maps system. I thought it was very interesting, and I always like talks with a good demo and things that you can actually try out and follow up on. Let's popcorn to Adrian.
I mean, I knew that was coming. I think I was the one remaining. So I got to tell you, one of the things that I always enjoy about ID24 are those backstage chats. Sometimes it's the only time I get to see some of my industry friends, unless I want to fly to their countries or spend tons of money. But also sort of, the front of stage thing is after these talks are over, some of the conversations that fall out of them, the on-camera conversations, are to me as valuable as the talks themselves. Sometimes the speaker gets challenged, looks at things in a new way. Sometimes a co-host is like, holy crap. But then being able to take those resources and share them, I was sharing stuff throughout the day, which was great with people I know, tons of great material. I had mentioned at the beginning that I was looking forward to Lola's talk. I really enjoyed Lola's talk, but I'm biased because that's right up my alley. And similarly, I enjoyed getting an update from W3C on what's happening with WCAG. Always interesting, always good to get an update, always good to be able to point people to something specific instead of just riffing on the fly. So that's nice. And the other thing that surprised me, that synthetic speech talk, I thought for audio description, I thought was really interesting. Thought it would be interesting, but a lot of really nifty insights in there. I just named like 3 talks, didn't I?
It's all good. Did we
Good for
do
me.
everybody?
I think so.
We haven't done you, Patrick.
Yeah.
You haven't.
Oh, yes. Oh, see, that
Why'd
was
you
my
tell him?
leading. That was my leading questions. Like, did we do everybody? Yeah. I mean, as every year, I get so stressed with all the preparations that in the end it all kind of flies by me, and then for some reason all the some really interesting talks happen just in the early hours of the morning. It must be the the Australian contingent that Stuart mentioned, but yeah, some really good ones that I always invariably then have to catch up on. But yeah, personally, I was quite pleased to have Mark and Louis talk about EAA. Mainly because, as I said in the session, I've been fanboying about their presentation. I've seen earlier versions of that one, and I really appreciated how they framed this whole topic. There's been a lot of confusion and fear and uncertainty and doubt on EAA stuff, particularly in the run-up to the June deadline. So it was nice to get a very authoritative kind of view on the thing. And yes, there is a lot of the legal aspect involved with that. And I'll be the first one to say I'm not a lawyer, but it's nice to get an actual law professional with Louis telling us some more specific details about things. And I'm probably riffing on what Eric said about the theme of internationalization. I was quite happy as one of the organizers to see how we had very interesting talks, about Taiwan. We had our first speaker from Africa with Victoria Nduka from Nigeria. It just, that's what we always wanted. We didn't want to have just the, all the usual, middle-aged white men. Sorry, Stuart. Doing presentations. Sorry, I'm not having a go. I'm riffing on what we talked about at one of the sessions.
I called it in my presentation.
You did.
A middle-aged white dude talking about diversity and inclusion. It's a dangerous ground for me to get into some days.
There we go. So yeah, I'm not being massively evil. And yeah, no, it was just really nice to see how slowly we're getting more representation and different perspectives, which is always why I really enjoy hearing other people's talks, because it can get so easy when you're day in, day out working on your WCAG assessments or whatever, to kind of fall into your particular view on things. And it's just nice to just take a step back and hear what other people have got out of certain things or their perspective. So yeah, I mean, I'm massively tired, so I will stop yammering on now, but I will just say, yeah, here's to another great event that we've done this year, and to the next 20 or something. Like Sarah was saying, this is year 17 or something. It's like, well, not yet, but we'll get there. Just in time for WCAG 3 to release. I don't know.
Oh, so what? 20 more years then? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we'll be here.
These are all threats.
And on that
Yes.
note, we should probably sign out for this year, I figure.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, thank you everybody as ever, and thank you for the ones that aren't here but have also contributed. And and before I go, I will send a random apology to Jan Lundin from Accessibility Cloud, because I managed to completely butcher his name in the intro 24 hours ago, and I just said Lund instead of Lundin. So sorry. But yeah, there we go. That's it, I would say, for ID 24 2025, the dreaded tongue twister. We were all anticipating problems, but I think we actually managed. So yeah, good stuff. So I would say let's leave it at that, and thank you again, and I will go and crash somewhere.
Well, I think we should just say one more thing, is that most of us have just kind of turn up on the day, whereas Leonie basically takes care of the majority of the sponsorship, and Patrick just does everything else pretty much until the day. So
Yeah.
this event really wouldn't happen without those two.
Yep.
Eric
And,
on the socials as well. We have
Eric on the
to
Oh yeah,
credit. Mhm.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Only the
Yep.
ones that
All right.
Great. Let's say goodbye. Put everybody out of the misery, us included.
Yeah,
Come
no, you hang up. No, you hang up.
All right.
Have a good one,
Great.
everybody.
Everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
See you next
Cheers
year,
all.
everyone.
Bye.
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 Freeze frame.